What's going on YouTube? It's TheMajorPCGamer here, and we are back with a coding video, or the first of many coding videos. I am no professional at computers, networking, coding. It is something that I love and I'm trying to get more into, and I think by creating videos, it allows me to do that. I've looked into so many programs out there that would be good, and either they're $40 per month, they're all right, or they're free with very few classes and not very in depth. I've done some Udemy courses that were all right, but I would say time consuming or not as sleek as they could be for learning. And there's two major problems that I have with a lot of courses is either you watch a video and you kind of copy what they do and you don't type it out enough, and part of that can definitely be your fault. So you don't really remember, or they're like, hey, on the left side of my screen, here's this, on my right side of the screen, type it out. And you don't use a lot of brain computing when you do that. You kind of just, go through the motion, flow with the waves, and retype what they did. But this program will teach you something. It's right there. You input it, but there's exercises that will have none of the code, or they'll have part of the code, or they'll ask you to add something to the code, and it's just the screen. And it doesn't tell you to add very much, so you're not overwhelmed, but there's nothing there to like go with the flow, so your brain has to think. You have to be a little bit more in depth with your thought process, and I think it helps with better memorization. And I'm going to kind of just do these lessons and take you guys through them and hope that you guys learn from the videos, or you get inspired to use this website or other places to code. I'm trying to get more into code, project management, open source softwares that I want to add things to for my personal home lab use. So by learning Python, learning code benefits me, but it also hopefully will benefit you guys as well. So we're going to kind of just separate this into short little courses. This one's obviously going to be a little bit longer because I'm ranting on and we're getting through the tutorial. So it's a Python tutorial. Python 3 is what we're doing. Python 3 is a programming language. Python can be used on a server to create web applications. It's a lot more back-end uses. With our try yourself editor, you can edit Python code and view the results. So this is kind of what I'm talking about. I have it set up in the split screen mode. You can click this for the dark screen, which I prefer. So print hello world. Super easy. It just kind of explains to you what you're doing. It does take a little bit to load for some reason. We can switch this to this, oh my goodness, start of many videos, and click run, and boom, the start of many videos. So we'll go back here. Ooh, I messed that up. So that's kind of the example. Click on try yourself button to see how it works. Python file handling. It's literally, if you look on the left, it's a lot to take in. I'm not going to read all of them, but it teaches you every little piece that you need for it, down to file handling, to NumPy, machine learning, MySQL databases with Python, which is super important. MongoDB is very popular within Python. So it has a ton of exercises even at the end. References like this teaches you everything you need to know to get started. It even teaches about Python database handling, like I said, MongoDB or MySQL, which are both really important. A lot of people do use MySQL because it's simple, it's been around, it works, but there's advantages to both. And then there's exercises. So exercises are insert the missing part of the code below. So we have hello world, like I was saying, but what goes at the beginning? And in this case, it's print. So you have to think, but there's nothing there. And then you click, submit your answer. Correct. Boom. Awesome. So there is that as well. And as you can see, you can just go through all of the answers. If you really need it, you can show an answer as well. Where it is. exercises, examples, Python references, and so on. Download Python. Don't worry, I already got Python on my computer. Right, and so you can click next. And what is Python? So Python intro. Python is a popular programming language which was created by, Van Rossum, or however you say his name, in 1991. We are now on Python 3, which is awesome that they're always updating it. Always better to have that. It's used for web development server side, so the back end, not as much as what you see on the frontware, software development, mathematics, system scripting, which is really important to a lot of people for automation, creating APIs that work with other people's stuff to automate programs. What can Python do? Python can be used on a server to create web applications, create workflows, connect database systems, so it can also read and modify. So it can open databases, it can change things in databases, which is really important, handle big data, and perform complex mathematics. So Python is very good at doing math very simply, very smooth and clean, and it can handle very complex things. It also, by default, does math questions in order of operation, which is really nice and kind of helps you create less errors inside of your code because it isn't as picky. It's a lot more forgiving, and it likes to use white space to determine things or specify what pieces of code are being ran with other things, where in languages like JavaScript likes to use curly brackets and is very, very anal. Rapid prototyping or production-ready software development. Python works on different platforms: Windows, Mac, Linux, Raspberry Pi. It's very popular on Raspberry Pi or small computing modules or single board computers. So if you're looking for something that's not very hard to run, or you'd like to add things to your Pi or Arduinos or whatever, Python is definitely a really good one to go with. Python has simple syntax similar to the English language, so it's easier to read. It uses fewer lines that other programming languages use to write the same code or for code to do the same thing, so it's very efficient. Python runs and interprets systems, meaning that the code can be executed as soon as it's written. This means prototyping can be quick. So you can write one or two lines of code, you can run it, and it'll show you a result. Versus CSS or HTML is more structure, but same with JavaScript is you need to write out the full code. You need to put at the top, it is this type of code, curly bracket here, here's 4 pieces of code, curly bracket at the end, all this code talks to itself. Now I can finally run it because it's completed with 4 or 5 lines of code. That's not the case with Python. You can just run 1 line of code, 3 lines of code, half a line of code, air quotes, whatever half line of code may be. Python can be treated in a procedural way or object-oriented way or a functional way. So what does this mean? Procedural way means in procedures, you're trying to accomplish thing. An object at which you're referring to, the code can be ran, in just that specific way. The most, like I said, the most major version and the most popular recent version is Python 3, which we'll be using this tutorial. Syntax compared to other language. Python was designed for readability and has some similarities to the English language, which influence for mathematics, like I was saying. Python uses new lines to complete a command as opposed to other languages that use the semicolons or parentheses. It likes to use white space to define scopes, such as scopes of loops, functions, and classes, which we'll learn about in further episodes. So, getting started. Python install. Many PCs and Macs will have Python already installed. I do as well. To check if you have Python installed on a Windows PC, search on the start bar for Python and run the following command line. Like I said, I'm not going to do this because I already have it installed, but it's very easy to just run this Python space -- version, or just go download it from their website, python.org, I believe it is. Super easy. Python quick start. Python is an interpreted programming language. This means that the developers do write python.py files in text editor. So once you have Py installed on your computer, you literally can create any file and put .py at the end of it, like .html or .mpv4 or H264. It's the same thing. You just put .py and it'll create it and run it as Python code. Like right here, python hello world.py. this isn't, I wouldn't do this with spaces, especially in names of files. I would do Python underscore hello world, and you'll see why later. And it is very commonly used within programming. So hello world.py, the name of your Python file. Let's write your first Python file called hello world.py, which can be done in any text editor. So print hello, like hello world, excuse me. Geez, trying to think of too many things. Simple as that. Save your file, open your command line, navigate to the directory where you saved your file, and run. So, super easy to like just run it. We'll get into that here in a little bit. The output should read hello world. Congratulations, you have written and executed your first Python code, which we're going to get into this again, like I said, in a little bit. So I don't know why they're adding this in the get started. To test a short amount of code in Python, sometimes it's quickest and easiest not to write the code in a file. This is made possible because Python can be run as a command line itself. This is also super important, and you'll see why later and as you get more into coding using command lines in Linux and other softwares. Yep, so if Python command does not work, you can try py. As you can see here, print hello world, which will write hello world inside of your command prompt, and you can just do exit like this whenever you're ready. So execute Python syntax. This will be in the next episode, so look forward to that, and we will see you guys back shortly. I hope this helps give you a little dip into programming in Python specifically, and maybe this course will work great for you.